Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Pod Couple. I'm your man's Uncle Freezy, and I am joined by the star of the Pod Couple, the host, G-Man. Oh, I'm sorry, Sergeant Nix, a.k.a. G-Man for life. How you doing today, brother?
What's good, Uncle Freezy? What's good? What's good? You know, every day above ground is a great day. You know what I'm saying? Always, you know, I'm real excited today. Real excited after, you know, what I had a chance to witness last night. And it's been a buzz all over the internet today, all over, you know, Sports Center and things of that nature. We don't get as much love as we should because, you know, we get those 1-2 minute snippets from mainstream media. But that's why we got these podcasts, brother. So we can come together and chop it up like real Knicks fans supposed to do. You know what I'm saying?
Amen. Amen. Sounds as if you have something that you want to get off your chest.
I do. But before I get to that right there, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, you know how we do this. You know what goes on. You could be anywhere else in the world, but you're here with us tonight, and I appreciate you coming through. Go ahead and smash that like button if you have not done so thus far, and go on down there and subscribe and hit the notification bell so you know when we do this thing live. You don't want to miss it. You know what I'm saying? Because we get busy in real life sometimes, and things slip our mind. That notification bell is going to save you because you don't want to miss none of this good content. All right, now having got that out the way, Freezy, what I want to get into real fast. Now, this show is called what's the name of the show for Uncle Freezy? The Pod Couple, right?
The Pod Couple.
So if you are, you know, if clean your eyes out, you know what I'm saying? And if you squint real hard, Uncle Freeze is still not going to look like Cornerstone Kev. Nope. So my co-host is elsewhere. He has some things coming up, but I'm going to have to start docking Kev some pay or something. I'm taking some points away from him, giving some demerits or something every time he target, right?
Yeah. Every time his canteen ain't clean for the TA50 inspection.
Yes, sir.
We gonna give him some. Yeah, every time his canteen cup ain't clean, we gonna start making people do push-ups. But no, shout out to Cornerstone Cav, who really wanted to be here. He had an unfortunate event.
Yeah,
things happen. I think his driver got sick.
Yeah.
And you definitely can't expect Cornerstone Cav to drive himself around.
No.
What kind of cruel world is this?
You know that's not going to happen at all. That's way too much.
Yeah. For Cornerstone Cav to drive himself around? We're asking too much, man.
Yeah, that's way beneath him, beneath his station. You know what I'm saying? That's why he got so many AKAs. He got more names than the doggone government allows.
Yeah.
Sure.
Man.
Sure.
Man. Hey, so shout out to Subliminal 209, to the Ghetto Intellect, Donald Cannon, and y'all. We see y'all in the chat. Nigel Smith, Sam Holt, what's good? We see y'all. Matthew Johnson, what is good? What's good?
Thank you all.
So you ready? You ready for the spotlight, G-Man?
Hey man, look, let's do this thing. You know what I'm saying?
You ready for your moment?
Before we get to that, Freezy.
So you're not ready for your moment?
No, okay. I'm not ready for the moment just yet. I'm gonna have to. I want to say this right, and one of the reasons that I want to kind of talk to Kevin, I wish he was here, because he was fortunate enough last night to be in the Garden during the game, and I kind of wanted to get his take on it. And when I talked to him earlier today, he was in there yelling. He sounded like the raspy voice, can't really talk and whatnot. Right. I was like, Kev, you forgot you had to do a show today, didn't you? Because but I definitely wanted to get his take on, you know, kind of what the atmosphere was in the Garden and things of that nature. So maybe we'll be fortunate enough to get him on the morning drive or something, and he can kind of, you know, bring us up to speed on kind of what he experienced and things of that nature.
Right.
But let's get into it, Freeze. Let's go and get into it.
And so Corey Lee, shout out to Corey Lee. Corey Lee says, shout out to you, Uncle Freezy, my 54 Bravo brother. Nobody knows about Fort McClellan, Alabama, like you do. Bravo company, you got to do your best before you find yourself in the lean and rest. Yeah. Shout out to Corey Lee. So So let me switch this thing here. Let's shift gears for a minute, so that because G-Man, Sergeant Nix, aka G-Man for Life, has been on a lot of different things, a lot of different things across the Knicks universe, and he's heard a lot of weird stuff. And I can imagine he has got some things to get off of his chest.
I do.
So we are gonna let G-Man have his moment.
So I'm gonna start off by saying this, right? I've heard some things that kind of make you want to scratch your head. That really, I'm not gonna say they don't make any sense, because anyone can make anything make sense if they think about it long enough. And then their job is to try to convince others that they're just not stir crazy or stark raving mad, right? But when we sit here and we talk about first game of the season, we went through preseason, now we're in regular season, one game in, and we're already talking about trading people. Why? For what? Unless it's one of those things that a deal is just too good to be true. Why are we trying to upset the apple cart already? For what? For what is the rationale behind that? If you got something that's working good for you, how about just stay the course for a minute, and later on down the lines incrementally make adjustments to whatever your product is. Not wholesale, not just coming out arbitrarily and saying, I want to get rid of this person, that person, this person for one guy, right? Is that one guy going to play all those three positions that you just gave up? No. Let's be realistic, ladies and gentlemen. Let's when we talk about stuff like that, let's make it make sense. I mean, I understand sometimes there's some players out there that they got that's not like the shiny new thing, right? It's the thing that we think that if we can get this, then the earth's going to open up, roses are going to bloom, the sky's going to, rainbows are coming out, unicorns are jumping all over the place. No, that's not how it works. Because if you look and you see, we don't have the problems that other teams in the league have right now. We don't have those chemistry problems that other teams are having right now. We don't have players holding out because they demanding a trade and they want to go elsewhere. We don't have to suffer through those kind of things. What we're going through right now is a result of injuries that some guys aren't available, or maybe they got some personal things going on that are just not able to show up for a game. But the beauty of that is we got depth. So next man up mentality. And lucky for us, these guys are stepping up. I say all that to say this, right? When we talk about things, especially when we start talking about moving personnel around, let's make it make sense. Let's think the thing through, right? And if it makes sense, let's talk about it, right? But if it don't, come on now. Because, Freezy, 4 people for one guy, and these are people that we're talking that they're on the team right now, in my eyes, for longevity. So these are I'm not going to call them foundational pieces just yet, but these are pieces in which we can build off of and make this thing go a little bit further. What you think about that?
That's interesting.
I can't hear you, brother. Look, I'm like when you're on stage and you about to do your concert, turn your mic up.
Yeah.
Turn it up.
Yeah, that is interesting. That's interesting. So, I don't really have a thought about that one.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I don't really have a thought about that one. I would rather, instead of saying something off the cuff, I probably need some time to think about that.
Fair enough. That's fair enough. Because to be fair, I didn't prep Freezy for this, and again, he is filling in for my co-host. Now, if it was Cornerstone Kev, I'd be roasting him right now. You know what I'm saying? Because he's supposed to be prepared. But I agree, and that's admirable, because most people, or some people, I'm not gonna say most. My wife always tells me don't speak in absolutes, right? Some people will get up here and just go off the cuff and have it. One thing has nothing to do with the other, and they never even answer the question. So I appreciate that for sure. For sure.
No doubt.
But on the flip side of that, Freezy, there are some good things that I've seen that is associated with our basketball team, and it started in preseason, And I was interested to see how it would transition into regular season when you're playing teams that are supposed to be out there playing to win. When you're playing against that NBA level, the NBA caliber talent for extended minutes, and they have schemed for the people that they believe that they're going to play that night, right?
So what I'm gathering is you have some good things that you want to talk about and things that may have concerned you.
I sure do.
All right. So which one you want to go with, the good thing first or the concerns first?
Let's go with the concerns first, and I can finish up on a good note.
Okay. Okay.
So my major thing that concerns me at this point are the people that are supposed to be playing at the 5. And we're going to get into this in depth later on, but it's a concern to me because when we start talking about the 5 position back during preseason, we start talking about the Nerlens Noel. When Mitch came in and he was playing those extended minutes, everyone could see visibly that he needed to work on his conditioning and get that up, which I think he's doing an admirable job in getting that done as well. And then we also talked about the fact that Taj was a person starting at the 5, and I'm on record for saying this, right? If we have to rely on Taj at the 5 throughout the season, then we're going to be in trouble. But I think based on having Mitch in the preseason game and then watching them play last night, as long as he continues to progress, I think we'll be okay. Now, where the concern comes in for me would be one Mr. Nerlens Noel. So he was already in my mind. I'm not going to call.
Wait. So you said you're getting on concerns right now?
Yeah, we still on concerns. Yeah, we still on the bad concerns.
Oh, okay.
We ain't transitioned yet.
Okay.
So this is still one of the. I would say it's a negative concern for me right now, which is the health of a Nerlens Noel. Okay. And when do we?
Your best ability is availability. That's
exactly.
What told me all summer.
He has not been available yet. I haven't seen Nerlens Noel since he signed his contract. On the floor. Now I'm just saying, it's like you took the contract, but now you want to sit at home and do nothing. We can't have that. I'm gonna need for you to come earn some of this cheddar that the Knicks have spread out for you. You know what I'm saying?
That's money that Mitchell Robinson didn't get.
Exactly. And we ain't even talked about that. But for sure, if we pay this guy, and I understand injuries, don't get it twisted. I understand, right? But I'm not.
You understand people going to sick call. Okay.
Yeah. Look, frequently at sick call. Frequently. You know what I'm saying? And they go on specific days. They go on those days that you got to go do that 3 to 4 mile run in 12 minutes. You know what I'm saying? I'm sick that day. I don't want to go do that. Or the day that you got to go on that 12 mile ruck march. Oh, I'm sick. I don't want to do that day. You know what I'm saying? But that same night, if you go see them, they in the club, doing a stanky leg or something like that. So we ain't got time for all that, man. Bottom line is, I need if Nerlens is truly hurt, which I have no reason to believe if he was healthy he wouldn't be playing. I wish him a speedy recovery, but I don't need for him to get his behind on the basketball court, right? So that will keep us from putting too much of a strain on Mitch right out the gate. And so if Nerlens was healthy, I don't think Mitch would be playing as many minutes as he's playing right now. You know what I'm saying? And because of that rim protection. And again, I love Taj Gibson. Taj is my man, 50 grand. But that position right there, you need a big in that position. You need someone that can deter people from coming in that paint. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think Taj fills the role, but he's not optimum for that role. Right. So I just need for him to go ahead and get healthy and get on the floor. And so these guys can kind of focus on what their roles are. Because right now, when you ask somebody to do something that they're not normally used to doing, you might get a wishy-washy type product in the end. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, wow.
That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
But, I don't want to be a negative Nancy. I don't want to be, that person that the wet blanket on a situation. But where there's a negative, there's a positive, Freezy. There is a positive.
Okay. So where there's a negative, there is a positive. So you want to talk about the positive?
Let's talk about the positive.
Okay. All right. The positive.
Motion detected at the front door.
So in the same vein, in the exact same vein that I was just talking about, right? The fact that we did not have a Nerlens Noel, we did not have a Taj Gibson. The team still rallied, and that next man mentality, people stepped up to go do some things that maybe they didn't expect for them to do. So you had players that were definitely playing outside of their normal role of what we were used to them playing for what we saw from them last season. You saw a couple of the young guys that showed up to fill the void and allowed key players to do things to put points on the board. Right? They were, and Tibbs was smart enough to understand who was strong in each aspect of the game and were able to make those substitutions. Even though guys played a lot of minutes, double overtime, by that second overtime, those guys were gassed. I mean, you could visibly see they were tired for sure. But they were still able to pull through. And the thing that impressed me the most, and I said this early on before we got into the regular season, we're a deep team. We are a deep team. Right. So even with those players that were missing, we had enough guys that were there that could fill that void and help us continue to move forward. Right. So I was definitely happy to see that, and I expect to see that moving forward. So as we talk about people potentially getting injured, you still got folks on the bench that can step up and produce for you. And when in the past that wasn't always the case.
Okay. So what I want to ask you is about this, right? Because depth is one thing,
right?
Being deep is one thing, right? But quality depth is another thing, right? Quality depth, in my opinion, is a completely different thing.
So quality over quantity.
Yes. And the reason why I'm saying, why I'm mentioning that is because multiple guys last night showed heart.
Facts.
Right. Multiple guys showed heart. Mitchell Robinson had 17 rebounds.
Yep.
Right.
That's a lot.
Right.
That's a lot.
Yeah. And so while it's not amazing, while it's not going to knock your socks off, it's something that we're not used to a Knicks player doing.
I was about to say that's above average for a Knicks player, for sure, especially in that position.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it takes heart for a dude we knew that had ring rust and conditioning issues in his last game.
Yep.
To come out and have 17 rebounds in the first game of the season.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? So, while it's not 17 points, in my opinion, is like scoring 40 points in today's NBA. It's impressive, but it's not impressive like scoring 40 points in a Michael Jordan, Patrick Ewing era.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But nonetheless, it's still very impressive.
I agree. And the thing that you said about quality over quantity, I think rings true because you can have 50 players on your team and they could be B-level players instead of getting that A-level player that you need to go out there and be able to start and play multiple positions and do different things for you, right? You got that, I call them a one-trick pony. So,
hey, G.I., I texted you, G.I. Check your phone.
Whereas you got, and to your point with Mitch, everything that you said, I agree 100% with. Like we already alluded to, the rim rust. He was the conditioning issues, but he dug deep. went down and got it, and he was out there for the team when the team needed him the most, right? So, I was very impressed from that aspect for sure. Um, and then the star of the game, the guy that was continued to be fed throughout the course of the game, Fournier. Because somebody, I was watching one show I was on earlier today, and they were at the Garden as well, and they was watching shoot arounds, and the word was that Fournier couldn't hit nothing. Everything he shot was going someplace else other than in the basket. But he didn't let that deter him. When he gets in the game, he gets hot, and then the rest of his teammates start to find him, and then especially when him and Julius start playing that 2-man basketball, that was a beautiful thing to see. Definitely a beautiful thing to see. And along with that quality of player that we have on the squad, I think one thing, that we have that a lot of other people have to deal with that we don't is a bunch of egos running around on the court. Because these guys, I believe, truly play for one another. And I think that has to do with the quality of their character. Because, a lot of those other things that people, go through, we don't really have to deal with that. And that's a beautiful thing for me.
Right. And Obi Toppin showed heart last night. So for those following along, we're talking about concerns. Things that impressed us.
Mm-hmm.
And Obi Toppin's performance last night is another thing that impressed us. Showed a lot of heart, a lot of character. Being down by a lot and then being up by a lot and then winning the game late.
Yep. That
Hey, so our guy is hey GI, when I bring you on, just give me a second, okay? G-Man, so GI is backstage. I'm about to bring him on.
All
GI,
right.
when I bring you on, just give me a split second, okay? So, ladies and gentlemen, introducing the co-star and co-host of Nick's Freestyle, the Ghetto Intellect. How you doing today, sir?
So the network made me go out and get an official podcasting set because they said the quality. So you see GI fancy microphones.
Wow, he fancy, huh? You fancy, huh?
You fancy, huh? You fancy, huh? Nail done, hair done, everything did. Nails done, hair done, everything. So I said, what good is equipment? What good is a kid with a new toy if you can't spin it around the block? So there was the opportunity. One thing about Kona Stowe, he leaves opportunities. He always leaves a little bit of food on that plate.
He leaves the window open.
And this is what I do. This is what I do. This is what I do. This is what I do, son.
Sarge on the counter.
So Sarge, but since you are such a no-nonsense guy and passionate, I'm gonna come in and behave myself. I'm gonna be on my best behavior. Ignore the name that the pod couple needed to close a GI. Ignore that. That's banter. That's banter.
Wow. You know what? I would expect nothing less.
Nothing less. So this thing has a mute button, I'm told. I'm gonna go ahead and click this mute button, and I'm here to rock out, guys. I got till 8:00, and then that's why I'm still in the bow tie and stuff. Got a few more clients to see at 8:00, but I'm gonna go ahead and hit this mute button and ride out.
I gotta roll out at 8 also.
Yeah, no doubt.
But GI, so GI and G-Man. So what I want to do is I want to rewind a little bit to get GI's thoughts on things he was impressed with.
Right.
Things that he was concerned with.
Rightfully so.
And that way we can have his take out here and have it be official. Right? For sure. So GI, I'm gonna ask you a question. I'm just gonna ask you to pause on it for about 3 seconds. And then if you can rip into it. The floor will be yours, okay? So I'm going to ask you things to be that you were things to be concerned about. Okay. So what things were you concerned about?
I was concerned about. So one of the things while we needed Kimber scoring and we knew he was an outside threat, we definitely knew that Tibbs likes to turn his guards over, his point guards over to attack the rim at will. And I saw Kimber go about it. But Kimber used to be able to explode when he got there. I saw a little bit of lack of explosion from Kimber around the rim when he got his guy and got the step and went to the move. It just wasn't. I hope that's a little rust, but I would, and I know he's been resting. So what's the plan with Kimber? Is he resting? How much is he able to really do on that knee on off days? Is he? So I'm just curious as to how far we're going to be able to push him. So that concerned me during the course of the game, but then the turnovers that he had, I was concerned they were coming back. And in that possession, when we got the rebound or we inbound, I thought they would pressure us on the inbounds because I didn't know how much. So when we got the ball to Kimber, I said, all right, good. We'll at least have a solid possession. And he ran to the right, got trapped, and just threw the ball. I mean, that was as elementary as it gets. Yep. Stuck in the corner and just say, let me throw the ball to the middle of the court and get it out I was flabbergasted.
He looked like a Jets quarterback.
Yeah, so yeah, it was the butt. That was the butt fumble. Definitely equivalent of the butt fumble. Yeah. So I was a little concerned about Kimber's play, and I really have no other concerns around that. The RJ is going to be pushed very hard. Listen, last night I couldn't have said it enough. Man, my 6'9" guard that got some wheels and some speed really gave Jaylen Brown some problems last night. My 6'9" wing defender wouldn't have let him shoot over guys. It would have taken one aspect. Jaylen Brown he was hitting his three, he was hitting his mid range, he was getting to the bucket. You got to be able to take something from a guy like that. But all in all, Freezy, I heard you say it. This team shows some heart. Tibbs is a winner, but I am much more comfortable with my 46 game assessment after last night because you're not going to win all them games and you're not going to win any games on the road playing like that. So, but all in all, we got the win. I'm going to be happy with the rest of the Knicks fans. It was surprising when I walked into work today, how many casual NBA fans, a couple of guys said, man, I might have to come back to the Knicks today. I walked away about 10 years ago. And I said, no, wait a couple of years. Don't come back now. Let's wait till we get to the championship to come back. Don't enjoy this piece because we still on ground floor. But it was unreal how many people knew the Knicks won in double overtime, knew it was the opening night. I'm also concerned because that celebrity row filled up really quick. There was at least 50, 60 celebrities, and that makes me uncomfortable because I hope Dolan doesn't get intoxicated by that and start listening to those people after the game. I think those people have harmed us for a long time because they said, as long as there's product on the floor, Dolan will come. And the product is winning. There's no other product, Sarge. If I'm learning from you, then winning. There's winning is the only product.
Yeah. Okay. With that said, I'm going to ask you to give me about 3 seconds. I'm going to ask you this. Just want to give you a moment to think about this. So, what impressed you the most about last night's game?
I wish I could have a one.
Take your time, baby. Take your time.
I was so impressed, Sarge. The top of my list, you guys touch on, so I'm not going to kill it. Mitchell Robinson. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to, not that I do this often, but I'm going to stroke my ego a little bit because a couple of years ago, people thought I was crazy because I got adamant on this network and I said, trade him. Trade Mitch. If y'all don't understand him, if you don't know what he brings, then trade him because he has value. And you can get somebody's other young superstar from them. If y'all don't want to pay Mitch, last night Mitch showed you 70% of Mitch is more than anything y'all have on that bench.
Thanks.
I stand around the rim. Y'all want me to shoot 3-pointers? Y'all want me to have a mid-range? But when I'm around the rim, 60 to 70% of every rebound coming off that rim is mine. Nobody can box me out no more. And I didn't understand how small the Celtics were until you see Mitch barely working, just reaching and getting rebounds. He didn't even work that hard.
Yeah.
And when somebody when somebody beat their man and turned towards that bucket, their eyes just light up because Mitch makes it there and he's not having it. He is an absolute factor. OB, Sarge,
Yes, sir.
any room on the OB Toppin bandwagon, or did you shut that off?
Hey, the bandwagon is invitation only at this point, yeah. Invitation only. Invitation only.
Well, and to Gi's point, to Gi's point about Mitch also, it's like you know how you get clogged up in traffic.
Yep.
And then you know what I'm saying, you finally get that open road and there's somebody in front of you. You like, you got the open road. Why are you doing 3 miles under?
You got to get out the left lane.
Right.
You got to get out the left lane.
You fly by them. That person is Kemba Walker. You fly by them and you're going downhill. And then when you get to downhill, you see the state trooper in the trees. And you're like, oh, that's why the person in front of me was, yeah.
Yes, sir.
So that's Mitchell Robinson at the rim.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Great analogy.
You know what I'm saying? So I got you. I got what GI is saying.
You know
that was as soon as GI said that was the first thing that came to my mind.
One thing that I don't mean to cut you off, Reese, but one thing that made me think when GI was talking about Mitch was I saw a couple times during the play that he was still able to get out and defend the 3-point shot. I was like, okay, he ain't lost a step. He didn't get there, but he was close enough to make that person change the trajectory of the shot. So he affected how that ball was came out of the shooter's hand. But that's just another element to that defensive game and him being that defensive presence on the court. I just wanted to touch on that. But I'm sorry, go ahead, Free.
Yeah. What I was getting at is Gi's point. One of the things that impressed us is Mitch. Being that now when guards turned the corner in the preseason before Mitch, remember Detroit?
Oh yeah.
Man, listen. They would turn that thing and they were trying to go, they were trying to go to the rim and they were trying to make posters.
Yeah, they were.
But with Mitch back, they don't want to be on them. They're on the wrong kind of poster. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's just what I wanted to get at is. And the other thing, too, I wanted to mention is Evan Fournier stepping up late in the game.
Yeah.
That's hard, bro. That's hard.
Yeah.
He was missing his first shots. I listen, guys. I just want to, y'all know me, I'm transparent. I was like, y'all got rid of Reggie Bullock for this. You see how the defense, they scored 35 points in the first quarter. We ain't gave up 35 points in the quarter all last year. I was impressed how many times we gave up less than 20. We come out first quarter of the year. Who's this Evan Fournier guy? And
he had to
sometimes you have to be
by the second half.
The people I was hanging with started saying, hey, GI, what about this Evan Fournier guy you were saying? I was like,
Mum's the word.
Right.
So, but what it established last night is Randall's gonna trust him. And that is the 2-man. That is how we're closing a lot of games. You can believe that. And everybody else needs to be ready. And who's gonna benefit is that elite 3-point shooter. Listen to me. We have an elite 3-point shooter. This is who RJ is going to be. He's going to be that 3-and-D guy, man. I know y'all want to see him as a second. I know y'all want to see him as a second option, moving the ball. What? Why? Evan Fournier is going to get that done, and you got elite point guards in the game at all times. RJ didn't miss any open threes last night. He's going to be he's already in the percentage leaders, I know, from 3-point. After let that man be 3-and-D. His defense is going to mean a lot. Stop trying to make him be something, some finisher around the rim. Let's just let that go. Let that man hit 4 or 5 3-pointers a game. If he gets to the line, if he gets a couple easy bunnies out in transition, stop making him some secondary ball handler. Let the ball run through Evan. Let the ball run through Randall. Let them do what they do. And RJ, this is going to be good. It's going to be good when it gets figured out.
And he's still a young player too, by the way.
Still growing.
Still a young player, a young man and a young player.
Facts.
Right.
Facts.
He's still a young man and a young player. It's not. RJ's not a finished product. RJ basically played the first game of his third season. That's
Right.
it.
That's fact. That's
You know
fact.
what I'm saying? So
I definitely want to touch on. So before we brought my brother from another mother into the building, and again, thanks Gi for coming through. So one of the things that we had began to discuss, and Gi kind of alluded to it a few minutes ago, was my man, the myth, the legend, one Mr. Obadiah Toppin. So I don't call him Obi. I'm gonna call him.
Yeah, nobody gets to talk about Obi today but you. That's why once you said there was no room on the bandwagon, I did invitation only. This is yours. Let me. I'm gonna turn this thing. Got a mute button.
No, so Obi impressed me from the standpoint of he was able to carry over the performance that he had during the preseason game when he started, right? So we were trying to figure out then. First of all, he came in starting when Randall was out having his baby, or his wife having the baby. Congratulations to them for the new addition to the family, by the way. But he showed me some things at that point that said, well, I think we got some opportunities here for Obi. And I've always said I wanted Obi Toppin since Summer League. I wanted Obi Toppin to make it difficult for Tom Thibodeau to say, I'm just going to leave him on the bench and that's going to be okay. So I think we're at a point right now, if you saw the different schemes and the different lineups that Tib had on the floor, Obi was at the 4, Obi was at the 5, Obi was on the floor with Randall, Obi was on the floor with Mitch. So, just different variations of what his game was. And the most important thing is he was productive at every aspect where he was on the floor. Whether it was blocking shots, changing shots, grabbing rebounds, and scoring the bucket. He's always open for a lob. And that's the highlight reel that, that we're going to at some point this season, we're going to have to put together Obi Toppin highlight reel, because I think that's where this team, we're going to get to that point at some station in this season, to where we're going to expect for Obi to have these type of performances day in and day out. Now, he's going to have an off night here and then again. What we saw last night may have been situational. This is still the first game of the season. Very small sample size. But if that is any indication to what we're going to have moving forward, Freezy, hey, I'm all about this. Okay.
You didn't give me a chance to do a Obi thing for you.
I didn't.
I didn't know you was going to do an Obi thing.
I didn't either. I hadn't planned on.
You didn't know he was going to do an Obi? What in the freezing?
Right, I didn't know.
I told you to get some rest yesterday. That's because you ain't rested. You knew what?
To be honest, during pregame warm up, we didn't really talk about that. You know what I'm saying? But that just happens. And I should have been smart enough to know when you start talking about stuff that you're happy about.
I should have one. I should have had one on deck anyway.
It's all good.
I should have had one. I should have had one on deck, right?
It's all good. It's a work in progress.
Man, that's what it is. Oh wait. You will have one on deck for G-Man?
Oh boy, there you go.
You should have known he was playing coy.
Yeah. Look, always working in the background. So
every time I hear G-Man, this is what I think about.
That's my guy. That's my dude. And I know it's some people out there that's been on this Obi train with me. You know what I'm saying? And then there are some people that's in the cut that were silent, Obi fans. They didn't want to make themselves known by sight or sound. Is there anybody down range? They didn't want to, put the hand up and make that noise. But that's why I say, GI, the Obi bandwagon is by invitation only. Now, I'm gonna allow some people to be able to come out of the doghouse, right? Now, some of y'all with that Obi talk, I'm gonna trade Obi for Annie's pretzel down the street, because that's how you believe the value that he has. So y'all can't ever come out of the doghouse. Y'all gonna be in my book for a minute. I'm telling you, but I'm telling you right now, Obi, I'm excited about what I see from this young man. And in my opinion, he's only going to get better.
Okay. All right.
I'm looking in the chat right now, making sure I don't miss none of these comments.
Yeah, did you shout the chat out? Because I definitely want to show love to everybody, especially my new little brother. Well, he's my old little brother, but he's new to the KJW events, man. I just get so excited to know that somebody I can touch within the 2 to 3 minutes in my community is up here with us. Just let you know the reach of the podcast, man. It's real talk.
No doubt.
Yeah, man. Yeah, no doubt.
So, and definitely want to give a huge shout out to the mods in the building. They keep us safe, keep them trolls up out of here, and allow us to, get this good Knicks content on a regular basis. So, otherwise, salute. Man, child, I see you. Worldwide Elders in the building. We got the closer, Jay Boogie's in the building. Salute. Shay Legacy's in the building. I see you. We see you. Sergeant Knicks fans in the building. Salute. Sigma sing. I can't do it like Freezy. I ain't got that kind of voice. The Freezy be hitting that sing. I can't get that.
Sigma sing.
There you go. Man. Thank you for coming through. White Falcon, Man Child, KJW Events. That's who G.I. was just talking about. Hey, welcome. I seen you around. Thanks for coming through.
You got to let us do this one too. Parish Duggar.
Paris Douglas
in the building. So, ladies and gentlemen, like I always say, thank you for coming through. You could be anywhere else in the world, but you're here with us tonight. We appreciate you. If you have not done so already, going over there and beat that like button up. Just beat it up, and then slide on down and hit that subscribe button. And make sure you don't leave that area without hitting that notification bell, so you know when we got this content coming out for you.
Right.
It's definitely something you don't want to miss.
Right. Amen, brother. Amen.
So, Freeze, I think at this juncture, this would be a perfect time to I think we want to talk about, as we were talking about Obi and talking about the lack of Nerlens Noel, the lack of Taj Gibson, and Mitchell Robinson playing as many minutes early as he's playing right now. I think now is a good time to bring up that topic that I've been hearing floating around today, off and on. But somebody was asking a question about small ball.
Okay. So you want to touch on small ball. Okay. G.I., what you think? You like some small ball topic? All right, let's do it then. Okay.
Now, normally I would be up here, just screaming at the top of my lungs about, what I saw last night when it comes to the small ball and how that thing kind of evolved and whatnot. But I'm gonna let my Mello down there at the bottom. I'm gonna let him go ahead and get his commentary first. So since he's a guest in the house, you know what I'm saying, I like to go ahead and let the guests get their thoughts out.
I just want to know though, this house feels comfortable. So as a guest, I took my shoes off, just so y'all know. So that's when you at home. So I kicked them dogs off quick. So with that said, I never believed in small ball ever. Especially when I saw the Houston Rockets do it. Even the version, um, Golden State Warriors one. They had a Bogut they could go to. They had somebody on the bench who can come out and protect them, right?
Right.
And Draymond Green is he don't back down. No, if Randall played as big as Draymond, but anyway, that's enough. So I never believed in the concept of small ball until I started to see that the Celtics was clearly beating us with speed, and that Marcus Smart at some point in the game started to play the 4 to defend Julius Randle. And then when we turned on the other end, they had complete mismatches against us. And salute to Tibbs. He wasn't about to let some rookie coach out coach him. He would have killed those guys. So he had no choice. He immediately switched and went to the small ball concept. And the Knicks took off. Obi, I didn't think Obi was ever ready for small ball. That was the other part, because I was like, man, I think we have to bring some knocks. I think we have to bring some knocks last night. I really was like, we might have to bring some knocks just to see what he can go out there and do. This would be a great opportunity for him. This is what I'm talking about. I don't have my 6'9" defenders. And when he went with Obi, and I still was a little bit concerned about whether we would be able to rebound. I was still concerned about the minutes, because small ball means Randall gets much more minutes. But man, that small ball lineup cut it down. And I thought I would have seen more quickly in small ball, but I don't want to throw too many things on the table. But, because that you get that shootout there, boy, it really, really opens the floor. But small ball is going to be here to stay. That's how Obi's going to get a lot of his minutes. Charge froze up. So I'm going to keep talking until he come back. As soon as he come back, I'm ready to pass the mic. But this means that we now see how Obi's going to get his minutes, because that's what we said. How's Obi going to get minutes? How is Obi going to get minutes? The only problem is, when will Randall get the rest? Because if he's going to play in the normal lineup, he's going to play in the small ball lineup. You back now, Sarge. I'm going to pass you the mic. But somebody said Randall was fine today or something. Can you get the details on that, Uncle Freeze, while G-Man runs the floor?
You give me homework, bro.
So
you said you like to produce back there. Hold on, I'll find it. Because I figured you would put up a little slide or something. You know what I mean? You becoming this producer extraordinary, cut and paste it into one of your little PowerPoint presentations, and then.
It's what we've been evolving to the entire time. We just needed, some time to grow and get accustomed to formats and such, and transitions, and knowing to let one person speak, and what I'm saying? G.I., you know what I'm talking about.
Well, I definitely know, and I always wanted to see that, but you know me, I've never called you up one time and had any conversation with you about this network, and I have been with you. When I look at the faces that's around here now, I've been with you as long as anyone, but forget the pre-MBK days. I'm talking about from the time you hit this live button. I've been with you as long as anybody that shows their face, and and this is all on your own. And I can say now truly that I won't question anything. My only question is, when can I hit my little button? Because I got a little mute button now.
Oh, I see that. You fancy, huh?
When can I hit my little mute button and let it go blue so I could go live?
Yeah, man.
Look,
I got you.
I didn't know I had a mute button on my mic, and I hit it by accident. I'm sitting here just talking to Freeze, and he like, I can't hear you.
And I'm like,
I can't hear you, and I had to look at my mic, and it was red. I'm like, oh, I didn't know that was that. My bad.
Yeah, man.
Bad. That's what happened when you overstep your station. That new stuff right there, that newfangled stuff. And when we get new stuff, we don't read no instructions. We just
man. And so I've been having to learn on the fly, because I'm not used to, I hadn't gone to school for this. So, what I'm saying, I'm learning as we go along. But to that small ball lineup question, is that lineup really small? Is Obi Toppin at 6'9", 220 small for an NBA power forward? Is RJ Barrett at 6'6", 6'7", 220 really small for an NBA small forward? Is Evan Fournier at 6'7", 215 really small for an NBA shooting guard? You know what I'm saying? Is Derrick Rose at 6'2", 205 really small for an NBA point guard? That's what I asked myself. Now in the small ball situation, you would ask yourself, why are we going small? What is the benefit born out of necessity? And generally, the benefit born out of necessity is a mismatch that the other team can't counter with something that's traditional.
Right.
And so I would say, is the small ball lineup thing a thing? I would say yes, but we have to consider that Mitchell Robinson, at his size and speed and athleticism, can still play in a small ball lineup.
Agreed. Because
the mismatch for a small ball lineup is speed and quickness. So if you have a big guy that's strong in strong lineups and presents speed and quickness in small ball lineups, then you may not need to change as much, right? So to me, a small ball lineup would also be a lineup with Mitchell Robinson, Obi Toppin, Alec Burks, Emmanuel Quickley, and Derrick Rose. You know what I'm saying?
Agree.
Because you still have the speed and quickness, except you have the unicorn and Mitchell Robinson along with you.
Yep.
Oh boy, here come trouble. Oh boy, here come trouble. Hey, so the co-star of Nick's freestyle, Free Keith, is in the background. So Free Keith, if you can hear me, I'm gonna bring you on. I'm just gonna ask you to give me a few seconds, right? I'm just gonna ask you to give me a few seconds to. I think I got something for Free Keith. So Free Keith, I'm gonna bring you on. I'm just gonna ask you to give me a few seconds, okay? Can you see me? All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, introducing the co-star and the co-host of the Poppin' YouTube show, Nick's Freestyle, Free Keith.
Yo, that's mad funny.
Hey, bro, how you doing, man?
I'm good.
Free Keith, be careful. That was a lot of white women, brother. There was a lot of white women at that party.
Whoa.
Careful, brother.
Whoa. I ain't trying to get Emmett Till out here. Relax, bro. Relax. Relax. I am not whistling.
So we moving along, bro. We as you know, we moving along with the production stuff. You know what I'm saying? So, but Free Keith, how you doing today, man?
Man, I'm good, bro. I'm good.
Hey, so I wanna G-Man introduce the topic or two, and I want to get your opinions. We heard G.I. We heard G-Man.
But can I just point a personal privilege, please? I am going to bow out because we don't want to double team and use all of our,
No. Yo, you see me? You see me right now? Like, yo, I'm headed to the gym. Like, I'm not going to be on here for nothing more than 5 minutes. So I just didn't want to leave him naked because I told him.
Well, how's he naked? You see me here. If you see me here, how's he naked?
I had already pulled up. Like, that's what I'm saying.
He's talking about based on a previous conversation.
Right.
Based on the conversation we had this morning,
yeah.
I had to make sure I showed my face.
There you go.
Because
oh no, it got hot. It got hot this morning. I was listening.
Because some of us run from smoke that they manufacture.
This is true.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, wait a minute. So you said it's a smoke. I might have a no. I'm just joking. I might have a smoke slide.
Hey, but you know, now I want people to understand, right? I ain't got nothing but love for Keith.
It's love all the way around, man.
I'm gonna tell you, Keith, what people will do, they'll take things that we say out of context, not knowing that we all family. You know, somebody that's new, understand. But this ain't nothing but love. You know, this sibling rivalry, baby. You know how we do.
This the barbershop, like Cass is not. I don't care if you don't know what's going on. You never been in a black barbershop.
Bingo.
Right.
For sure.
You're like, they're so aggressive.
Or in the hairdresser picking up your daughter. You ever been to the hairdresser picking up your daughter, bro?
Boy.
Yo, if you got girls, got girls and they go to the hairdresser, as a guy, you walk in there and you like, man, what in the world? Y'all talk hard like us, and then come home and be something different.
Yeah,
it'd be a whole different world in there.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Hey, G.I., you got a second?
You muted.
Yeah, I got to remember I got my little mute on my little fancy microphone. I'm available. Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. So, hey, so Free Keith, G-Man, I'm gonna meet G.I. backstage.
All right.
And then I'll let y'all rock. Then y'all can rock for a few seconds.
All right.
I just want to ask G.I. a question real quick.
So my man, so a couple things.
What's good?
This afternoon, we talked about, you know, is small ball a real thing? That's the topic we're on right now. Talking about small ball. Is it a real thing, or is this just something that we're doing out of necessity? Because, you know, we don't have a New Orleans, but we didn't have a New Orleans last night. There wasn't Taj didn't play last night, and the only big that we really had on the floor was Mitch, and we were trying to, I won't say monitor the minutes that he was playing, but at some point you got to sub him, right? So do you think what the lineup that we saw last night, is that something that we do moving forward, or do you think that's something that we're doing out of necessity based on injuries right now and availability?
Well, there's a couple things. There's a couple variables I think that's a part of that. Like, I think Tibbs would have played Mitch longer if his conditioning was up.
I agree.
So at the time at which that happens and he gets back to where he is, I think like him being a big on the team, especially at the end of games, he'd probably be in. Which was the situation with that last preseason game. Yeah, he was in for a large chunk of time in that game. I think like 37 minutes or something like that. But he wasn't in it. It was Randall and Obi.
Yeah.
It was Randall and Obi. So Obi ended the game as the 5 on that small ball thing. So like my estimation is, if we have a fully healthy Noel, a fully healthy and conditioned Mitch and Taj, I could see that small ball Obi at the 5 situation being very situational.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I think like that's a situational move. I think the situation blatantly presented itself, and Tibbs was forced. Was forced to actually go in that route because it was already looking kind of cohesive. I'm sure he'd rather have like a Mitch type big as the 5. Like if I know Tibbs, but I'm impressed with him actually going with them, and I think that it's something that he would be now comfortable using in situations where it would be beneficial.
So I agree. I think also, if you look at the amount of time that the rookie was in for a hot minute, he only played 6 minutes. But I think that based on the intensity of the game, that was just too much for Sims that early in the game, right? So the game was just too fast for him. He was not prepared for that magnitude, and that the stage that he was on for him is too big as a rookie. So I think that's when, to your point, he made that transition and said, okay, well, the last preseason game, I tried Obi out at the 5. So let's see if that works now. And not only did he do that now, because we also saw Randall playing at the 5 for a minute and Obi at the 4.
And so Obi at the 4.
Yeah. So there were multiple areas of just kind of plug and playing these guys, just kind of see what works. And I think that, I think we're at a position right now that, if somebody goes down, we're comfortable enough. We always said that the team is deep right now, right? So I think that we proved that last night to where Tibbs, he didn't play the 10-man rotation. He shrunk that down to 8. So he gonna play 8 guys, right? Legitimately played them for some time. So I think that I agree that I think that the small ball era will be situational. It may not even be to where somebody is hurt. It may be that they understand and recognize based on the opponents that we're playing against that there's an opportunity for a mismatch there because Obi has better foot speed than say whoever the opposing team is at the 5 and whatnot. But it's a good problem to have. And again, I was talking to Freezy about this earlier. I think what allows us to do things like that is these guys that we have on this squad right now, they don't have a lot of egos. So you ain't got to worry about nobody saying, I want more playing time. I want more playing time than Free Keith. You know what I'm saying? I need to get my shine on. You know what I'm saying? You muted, Keith. You muted.
This is what you just mentioned right there is the 100% reason why I'm not geeked to go out and run and get guys like Ben Simmons and what you like. Yes, super talented cats, but like we got a culture that's very rare building like in this house. You really want to you how much is his talent worth to test and see if he breaks that or becomes a candidate? I'm not willing to take that bet.
I'm with you there.
I'm not willing to take that bet.
We talked about that earlier too, because to your point, you want to go. First of all, in order to go get somebody like that, you're gonna give up more than you're willing to give up. Then you should.
To lose the assets, the culture building assets to something like that, and then if it doesn't work out because of his attitude, I'll be so pissed off, bro.
And then you starting all over from square one.
From square one, because really, I know a lot of fans, like we say stuff like, oh, the culture has changed, But honestly, that was thing number one that had to change for any of us to get the goal that we wanted.
That's a fact. So we had some people that were not producing as advertised, and we were able to get rid of them. And then, at some point, I don't know when it actually happened. I can't put my finger on it, but there was a shift in the culture, right? So the people that we started bringing in and the people that volunteered to come here, being a Kumba and a Fournier, that's just the icing on the cake to let you know that, first of all, they wanted to be here, right? They had to go out and drag them here kicking and screaming, or, they were part of a 3 or 4 team trade that, I got to go play with the Knicks or whatever the case be. These guys actually want to be here and they bind into that culture. So I'm hyped about that for sure.
No, I got this from. Yeah, very, very, very hype about that. Okay. Very hype about that. And I don't know if anybody else noticed this too, but like Mitch is actually playing like he's stronger.
Yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact.
Makes it like, and that to me, actually, I appreciate that better than him actually being stronger.
I was concerned early on when we first started talking about him in the gym, the weight gain and all that, because a lot of times when guys go through a change, whether you're putting on muscle mass, whatever it may be, that affects your cardio, right? So if you used to running at 195 pounds, and your body's used to that, your wind is used to that. Now you add about 20 to 30 pounds of that, your body move a whole lot different, and you have to adjust to that. So to your point, I'm pleased to see that he is playing stronger, and he's able to hold his own in the paint. First of all, then, and I mentioned this to Freezy a few minutes ago, and Gi both, he's still able to get out there and defend the 3. he hadn't lost no quickness from that aspect either. So that's also good to see for sure.
I knew that was some of people's fears about like, oh, he's gonna get too bulky, but like, dude, that stick figure that was running up and down them joints, like he had room. He had room. To me, in my mind, he had room to gain weight and still keep his flexibility. Like he needed this weight. He needed it.
Right.
Facts.
He even said it. Like he was tired of getting pushed around. He said that out of his mouth.
He did. He did say that. Now I heard that with my own 2 ears for sure.
He said he was tired of getting. Yo, that's the one thing I like about Mitch though. He gives very kind of candid interviews. Like even just the after the game interviews and stuff like that. Like he really kind of tells you. He kind of tells you what's on his mind, like for real. Like I actually appreciate that.
And that's rare because a lot of time those guys get in front of that camera, they're gonna give you the political answer that and that's all you get. You don't get that real personal. When you get an Uncle Freezy in front of the camera and be like, "Hey, Freezy, what do you think about this?" So you say, "Hey, Free Keith, what are your thoughts about that?" And you don't have to worry about getting that company line. You don't get that raw, and that's what you want from Mitch. And it's good he does. I wish more people did that.
He laughing at himself. He was like, "Yeah." He was like, "Oh, I think one of the reporters was asking him like, "Oh, like you bulked up. It looked like it shows." And he was like, "Yeah, I did all this work. I got to show off my body." I was like, "Yeah, Mitch." And he said it with a straight face, like,
he was like, they stopped calling me Mitch and started calling me Flex.
Yep.
Everywhere I go, I'll be flexing. Yeah.
That's a fact. And I think that what that's going to do for him also in the long run is the people that have not gravitated to Mitch, that's going to win him that fan base. You know what I'm saying? When people know that he's that genuine personality, fans will start to gravitate to him a little bit more for sure.
His first press conference, I thought that man was slow.
Oh, me too. Me too, for sure. Like,
yo, that's the first thing I had I don't know, Freezy, you was on the thread at that point.
Yep.
Like we was like, I asked, I was like, does Mitch look like he got a mental problem to anybody else?
Right.
Like
yeah,
because he looked super uncomfortable being up on that stage. Like he looked super uncomfortable in that initial presser, that first one, him and Knox, I think it was.
Right. Because he couldn't put complete sentences together. You remember that? It was like, so how does it feel being in New York? And he was like,
yeah.
Happy.
He looked shook. He looked shook daddy.
Yeah.
He looked shook daddy. Like,
right.
Yeah, I definitely didn't think Mitch would make it. Like after that press conference, I thought it was a wrap for the gig.
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
And I was thinking, like, what in the world is Scott Perry doing?
Yeah. I was like, did y'all interview this man? Like y'all like he's special. Like, oh snap.
Right.
Oh,
right. Right. No doubt.
But it turns out he was just shy because like what happened throughout that season? Like he got more comfortable. Actually, it was as he got more comfortable with the media and stuff like that, is when he was actually starting to get better as well.
Right.
He just needed to get comfortable.
Yeah. Yeah. And then he had to find a certain level of professionalism.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
For sure. I mean,
is that GI coming back? GI, if you coming back, wave your
hand.
Because GI put his headset on.
Okay.
GI, you coming back in? Okay. All right.
Wave me off, coach.
Yeah. All right.
But I mean, that a part of that too. To your point, I think these young guys can take some lessons from a Mitch. So when it's their turn to get in front of the mic or get that spotlight, then they're not as camera shy and they're a little bit more prepared. So you learn from other people's mistakes, so you don't make the same ones over and over again.
No, but this is why that's the difference with going to college. See, I could understand why Mitch wasn't ready for that moment when it particularly had like college does a lot of that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like the crowds you're playing in front of, like you're already talking to reporters, especially if you're good. Right. Like you're ready, like you coming into the NBA already having dipped your foot in that water and you know what it's like. That attention is like.
Right.
If I leave college, if I don't go to college and I just go, okay, yeah, I'm gonna practice with a trainer for a year because I just want to get into the NBA. You're missing that other part. You can get the skills and stuff, but you're missing a little bit of that professional education part, that development, the professional development part.
For sure, that's a great point. Great point. And you can tell the difference between, because even when if we think back to the summer league. When Grimes and McBride were getting interviewed, that was a totally different interview other than what we saw.
Them brothers, they look comfortable already. Like, they look comfortable, sound intelligent. Mm-hmm. Like, what year in college were they?
I think they came out that they were going, if they had to stay there, they would be going into their junior year. I believe both of them came out there after the sophomore.
Okay, yeah. I'm not a fan of the one and dones myself, to tell you the truth, but yeah.
Me either.
I think that's what the G League should have 18 and 19-year-olds. Like, unless you're a super exceptional generational talent, like, you should start, like, everybody should have to start off in the G League. Like, if you're coming in fresh. I don't see why not.
I agree. Because you tell me the last time you saw somebody coming straight out of high school or straight out of college or one and done or whatever the case may be, and won a championship.
Mm.
I'll wait.
Yeah. When you say straight out, I thought you was gonna say straight out of Compton. Okay.
No, I mean, but to Keith's point, I agree 100%. If you're not going to go to college, and I think, I believe that I saw something somewhere. When these guys are in the G League, are they getting paid then?
Yeah.
Okay.
You get paid for the G League. That's like a minor league.
So I to that point, I see no reason why you can't go and get that development early on.
Yes,
so you all these stumbling blocks are over and done with, and I don't have to sit you on a bench behind 3 other people and hope that you learn and hope that you pick up what it is you're supposed to be doing. And when I put you behind on the court, you're still out here lost. And now
those soft professional skills, like, it's just this. It's not taught in classrooms. You kind of gotta experience certain things.
Yes, facts.
What does it feel like to be a popular cat on a good team? Like, what does it feel like to be a great player that all the people around you are looking at? And is that, like, how do you manage that? You start with college. You start with college because that's how that's how the athletes are in college. It's like a warming up. Like, it warms you up for what you're about to walk into.
That's a fact. And the crazy thing about it is when you look, and it's probably a different scenario, but I think that's probably one of the reasons why you never hear about people coming straight out of high school going to the NFL. That just doesn't happen. That just doesn't happen. First of all, your body is not mature enough to be going up in there running against them big grown men that's out there on that field.
Yeah, I think it got to be some science behind that too. But I would be wary of putting an 18-year-old. I don't care how freakish I think his body is against some of these monsters. Like,
no, especially when you see. Can you imagine somebody coming out of school at 18 years old, just graduated, trying to defend against Derrick Henry?
I mean. That's almost like a punishment. Like, like, hold on, what I do? Like, I'm sorry.
I didn't mean it, but
whatever it is, I take it back. But I look at somebody like, say, a Zion, maybe. You know what I'm saying? I could see him in the NFL coming out, but, like, he's literally a 1 in 100,000 kind of character, like, kind of cat. Like, nobody's built like that coming out of high school.
Yeah, I agree. And then I don't think that the skill set is as such. And I know we talk about 2 different sports, but I don't believe that your skill set is up to par when you talk about depending on what position that you come in to play. Because I mean, that's a lot going on in between your ears. When you out there on that field with all these rules and routes that you got to remember, playbooks when the quarterback comes up and changes the play at the line, you got to know all that. And it's too fast.
Professional focus is a real thing, and especially in something like sports, a high contact sport like football, like you not being mature enough could actually be dangerous to yourself and other people.
Yeah, facts, especially your quarterback if you play on the offensive line.
if I'm one of them cats on the football team, I don't want to play with no 18-year-old.
Oh man,
I do not want to play with no 18, and it has nothing to do with him not being able to play the game. Like I don't know. No,
you're not seasoned for that.
You're not seasoned enough, not for this game. Like it's a game, yes, but this ain't no game.
Yeah, this is the fact. And I see Manchild says Kobe, Garnett, McGrady, Jermaine O'Neal all came from high school. Okay,
yes,
they did, but
special talents.
Okay.
Generational talent.
Well, when you say what about Orion Green?
Who?
I don't even know
Jonathan Bender.
Who?
Exactly.
Exactly.
Don't be trying to don't hit us with the outliers, bro.
I knew somebody was gonna do that. I knew somebody was gonna do that dumb shit.
Right. But G-Man, so we done hit the threshold, bro. I'm gonna have to get out of here.
I got you.
I'm gonna have to get out of here.
I pulled up, G. I pulled up.
Hey, listen, I appreciate you, Keith, and I expect the invitation. Likewise, I'm not saying reciprocate, but
next week. I need to see you. Next week, Wednesday.
Right, because the Knicks play at Chicago next Thursday.
Yeah. So I'll definitely be in the building, and I appreciate you coming through, my brother, for sure. Hey, listen
Nothing but love, baby. Nothing
ladies
but love.
and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. Thank you for coming through. I want to thank my special guest from the other hit YouTube channel that we got here on the Blorange Network. Nick Freestyle, my man, my mellow free Keith. My man Ghetto Intellect. I want to thank my man Freezy for sitting in for my co-host Cornerstone Kev. And again, ladies and gentlemen, you could have been anywhere else in the world, but you're here with us tonight, and I appreciate you. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Hey, thanks for coming out. God bless and good night.
And good night.